The hardest thing to do in this country today is to support APC, is to come on air to defend the policies and the government of APC. The evidences are there. Ever since they assumed office in 2015, APC has destroyed the economy of this country. They've made everything worse than they met it. These are the people that promise change to Nigerians, but they've succeeded in bringing change to Nigerians. Of course, President Muhammadu Buhari is no longer the president. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the president. 1 year in office, Nigerians are seeing renewed shege, and somebody is currently in the studio on HiS TV trying to defend the policies of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and Rufai, almighty Rufai, is cooking him raw. I want you to watch the interview. I'll be back.
Let's set the facts straight because it's a public television and the facts reign supreme. Mr. Teso, the first statement you made that was not correct.
Rufai.
Very well. God bless you. That was factually incorrect. You said when the president came in, there was no budget for subsidy. That's not true. According to the 19th of August 2022, FG said they were to end subsidy at the end of June 2023. The president came in May 29th. There was still about a month more based on the budget for subsidy. Secondly, you said under Buhari's regime we had a recession every week. That's not also factually incorrect. We had recessions, yes, but it was not every week. Thirdly, I'd like to ask, do we still have...
I exaggerated that.
No, okay, good you clarified that was an exaggeration. Thirdly, President Tinubu said he had pulled out subsidy, but as we speak today, we're still paying subsidy. Because when you look at the prevailing price on the West African coast, it's over 1,000 for a liter of petrol, and we're still paying about 700. Recently, the government released a document called the Reset Document, where they put in themselves that over 5 trillion was a mark for subsidy payments. But they had to withdraw that document, but subsidy payment is still been going on. Many government parasites, the Minister of Finance recently was asked about subsidy payment. He tried to wriggle his way around it. At a ministerial program, the Minister of Oil and Gas did say, officially, we are paying subsidy. So subsidy is still being paid. As we speak today, what has President Tinubu given Nigerians as regards this is renewed hope campaign? He has added 11% inflation to our country as we speak today. Inflation is at an all-time high. Can you respond to all of those things?
Oh yeah, sure. He has given a lot to us. Look, I can tell you that the level of insecurity has reduced drastically. Because of the rusty house we had before he came in as president, you might or we might not see the effects immediately, but trust me, he's doing a lot, and a lot has been done. I do not want to, and the president is not living in denial that things are difficult. Yes, things are. Okay, there are challenges. But the question is this: is he trying his best? Is he doing his best? Is he giving his best? Yes. We might not see, the effect immediately, okay? But things have been done. And then this brings me back to, if someone tells me that Gary is so expensive, yes, yam is expensive, cooking material, foods is expensive. What are the governors doing? What are the governors doing? Why do we have to put everything on the table of Mr. President? What are the governors doing? This is a simple question we should ask. What states is producing what? What is making the food, a tube of yam expensive, for instance? What's making beans expensive, for instance?
Before we go over to the other part of the interview, let's react to what he has said so far. Now, it's funny how these guys keep talking about Tinubu inheriting a bad economy from President Muhammadu Buhari. Like, Buhari ruled under APC, and Tinubu was a chief supporter of Buhari. He even said he will continue from where President Muhammadu Buhari stopped. Tinubu is also an APC candidate. This means he contributed to whatever leadership Buhari gave to Nigerians, be it good or bad. Of course, you and I know that Buhari contributed absolutely nothing. He contributed bad, negative indices to Nigeria politics. Now, when asked about what Tinubu has given to Nigerians, now, do you see his thinking process? Do you see where he was heading to? He talked about improved security. Now, this is quite laughable and an insult to the sensibility of Nigerians. This is literally mocking the plight of those that have become victims of insecurity in Nigeria. Insecurity is worse under Bola Ahmed Tinubu. There is no gainsaying about it. To an extent that our gallant soldiers were massacred like flies, they were massacred like chickens by unarmed youth in Okwama community. In 10 months under Bola Ahmed Tinubu regime, 6,931 people have been reportedly killed across the country. Now let me take you back. In the former Goodluck Ebele Jonathan first 10 months, 2,059 persons were killed. Remember, the reason why Goodluck Jonathan was hated so much, the reasons why he was voted out of office was because of insecurity. APC amplified the insecurity under President Goodluck Jonathan to the extent that it felt as if Nigerians were being killed like chickens under Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. The insecurity under Goodluck Ebele Jonathan was over-reported. It was a propaganda tool. Remember the Chibok girls? All those things were propaganda too. Unlike what we have today, most things happening across the countries are underreported. If not for social media, if not for Twitter, you and I will not even know the killings that are going on in different states in this country. So the ones that I'm telling you about, these are the ones that have been reported. And I'm sure there are thousands of cases out there that you and I are not even aware of. Our roads are not passable anymore. Bandits have taken over our road. Now he even shot himself on the foot by mentioning food security, food inflation. You want to blame that to the governor? That is what he's saying. He wants to blame that to the governors. Is this guy not aware, or he's aware but doesn't want to admit that the reason why we are having food inflation in this country today is because of insecurity? Farmers can no longer go to the farms. The ones that go to the farms, they are being harassed by terrorists. Farmers in the north pay levies to terrorists to be able to access their farmland. Look at what is happening in North Central, in Benue, in Plateau State, in Taraba State. Farmers are being killed in their numbers. Terrorists masquerading as Fulani herdsmen that are having a field day, destroying people's farmlands and taking over their ancestral home. And this is not only limited to the North Central. They've brought it to the South. Is it the governors that are responsible for security? Security is the exclusive responsibility of the federal government. The federal government has failed in their responsibility to protect the citizens. That is the reason why we have food inflations. Because of insecurity, farmers can't go to their farms. So, are you going to blame the governors for insecurity? It's absolutely rubbish. For the fact that we are having food inflation is a big result that Bola Ahmed Tinubu has failed in security. Now let's listen to the other part of the interview. I will be back.
Before you look at the next level, you have to look at what you have done. President Tinubu promised CNG buses. Where are the buses? Have we had a rollout? President Tinubu promised palliatives. Where are the palliatives? President Tinubu promised better economy. We have over 11% inflation rate from 22% when he got power to over 33.9%. President Tinubu...
Timeline,
no, hang on a minute. Let me finish, please. President Tinubu promised, the CNG bus he promised was within a 1-year timeline between last year and now. The palliatives, these soft loans for small businesses, where are they? The president promised. Also, the president promised, a stable, enabling environment for businesses. But GSK and most businesses have left Nigeria. Microsoft too, packing their bags. Most of these companies are leaving. So the question is, all the things President Tinubu announced as promises mid-year last year to be able to cushion the effect of the economy. He promised 100,000, 150,000 hectares farming across states of the Federation. Where are the farms? President Tinubu also promised from the National Grain Reserve food to the people. Where is the food? With all of this that he has not done from his own promises, make a case why he should be voted in 2027.
He provided student loans for the students across the country. Why don't we focus on that? Simple things that others couldn't do. In other words, a civil servant who has a daughter could now take a loan and complete her education. Why are we not focusing on that? And I'm very aware that the federal government, Federal Minister of Agriculture, for instance, I don't have the details now, but it was in the news. I mean, clearing of farmlands and in other parts of the country. So if I plant rice now, probably I need 1 month or 2 months for that rice to for me to harvest. So are you saying that if those things are being done, that just because that the harvest we have not harvested it, it means that he's not doing that? No, he's doing that.
Okay.
So why don't we focus on the things that he has done?
Okay. So let's talk about the student loan scheme.
Currently on your channels, on Rufai, just a second. I believe that there was a program on your, I'm not sure, but I mean, you have in Lagos, Mecano Motors or what, the factories in Lagos now, manufacturing vehicles or, producing vehicles that, uses. So these things are happening. It takes time.
Okay. Wait a minute.
It takes time.
Wait a minute, Teso.
Okay. Yeah.
Teso. So good. We're having an interaction. I love you. I love you so much. We're having an interaction. Good.
Thank you. Same here. I love you greatly. I'm your fan. Yeah.
I'm your fan too. So you talked about the factories producing the car. How many CNG buses has come out to the market, and how many has ameliorated the plight of working people? You should be able to give me stats. Secondly, you talk about student loans.
So I don't
the student loan was just passed recently, but there was a story in the news this morning talking about that for state universities and enrollees, the system has been stalled to be able to look at things. How many people do you know that have benefited it? The announcement of the clearing of farm and planting 150,000 hectares per state was made mid last year, when the president also announced that we're going to stall the price of petrol so that it will not increase in the price. So from last year to now, where is the food? That's just all I'm asking. So let's give facts.
Okay. The foods are in the market. The foods are there, and because of, and one of the reasons why our food is expensive now in the market as well is because the bad roads. I mean, a truck moving from Maiduguri down to Onitsha, for instance, just the price of transportation is unbearable. So are you now telling me that is Mr. President that couldn't do those roads in the past 8 years? Okay, so the food is there. The food is there. What's causing the price hike? Those are the things that we should look at. Okay, he came and met those things: bad roads, touts on the road. Okay, I mean, you go from here to Benue. That's where I come from. I talked about this recently. You buy a tuber of yam. A woman goes there to buy a tuber of yam to take to Lagos or Kano, for instance. From the garage, from the yam market, you have 10 to 15 touts. That falls back to a state governor. You on the way from the state, out of that state, you have touts on the road that collects every single money that poor woman has. Okay, by the time this truck gets to Kano, the price of your yam is risen. Is that the responsibility of Mr. President? Are the state governors doing their jobs? Who is taking the money? The state governors apply the roads every day. Are they saying that they don't know that townspeople are taking this money and making life difficult for ordinary citizens? We are Nigerians. We love this country. Can we be can we be honest about the situation? Others are not doing their job. Everything comes down to Mr. President's desk. Everything is Mr. President. What about the other guys who take money every month?
Okay.
For the fact that this guy spent close to 20 minutes in the studio and could not give one thing that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has done to Nigerians to ameliorate their suffering, to salvage what he made on ground. But the fact that he could not even mention one particular policies that is on ground that will help in the future to give Nigerians succor, it shows that Bola Ahmed Tinubu has nothing to offer to Nigerians, and that is a real fact. Now, when he was talking about the food prices, he mentioned the bad road. He mentioned from Maiduguri to Enugu road that is bad. That with the president, are we expecting the president? Are we blaming the president for that? Someone that just came into office for 1 year. Yes, we blame the president for that because that is the reason why he was voted into office. He said he's going to fix this. Is he trying to tell me that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was not aware of this whole problem? Of course, I know that P2B was aware. He went around the country, tell everyone, this is what we have, this is the problem we are facing in this country, this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to fix this thing. So Bola Ahmed Tinubu knows of this problem. Oh, he didn't know because he did not even grant interview, he didn't even discuss his policies. All Bola Ahmed Tinubu wanted was to grab power and become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. What Bola Ahmed Tinubu wants to do was to extend his dynasty from Lagos to the national state. Now back to the road, he is to be blamed because you came in. Is he not aware that the Maiduguri to Enugu road is bad? If you want to solve food inflation and you know that definitely this food are being transported from one road to the other, what are you going to do? Are you not going to fix that road? You have the money. Why didn't you fix the road? Why did the president now have to go and budget 15 trillion naira for the building of the Calabar Coastal Highway? What will that road contribute to the economy of the country in the short term? Because you met problem on ground. You should be looking at what to do to ameliorate the suffering of the people within a short possible period of time. You should go and fix those roads. P2B even helped him by outlining roads that are bad in all the geopolitical zone of the country. The 15 trillion naira you are budgeting that will be used to build a road, a coastal highway that will be completed in the next 20 years could have been used to fix those roads in all the geopolitical zone. This road will help to boost the economic activities of this country. It will reduce the price of goods we are currently facing, just like what this young man is saying, because transportation is equally adding to the price of goods in the market. Once farmers, they are done harvesting their goods, they will transport it to the market. And what causes the increase in transportation as well is the removal of fuel subsidy. What was the reason why fuel subsidy was removed, and yet we are still paying for fuel subsidy? If you are removing fuel subsidy, why didn't the president consider the farmers that these farmers, they will transport goods to the market? Why didn't the president provide cars for the farmers, vehicles for the farmers that will help to transport their goods? Even if you are not providing vehicles for them, subsidize this transportation. Nigerians are hungry and you're talking about road. There is food inflation at all-time high of 40%, and you're talking about road. This blame game is not going anywhere. President Javier Milei of Argentina came into office the same period that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came into office. What Nigeria is suffering, Argentina suffered, it was high inflation. But today, it was reported that for the first time in history, Argentina did not experience inflation. How did he do it? The man has gone into work and has done what he promised Argentines that he was going to do. Bola Ahmed Tinubu came in and he has increased everything to become worse. And you're telling me that he is doing something that we are not going to see. What exactly do you want to convince Nigerians that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing that they are not seeing? The only thing Nigerians are seeing currently is insecurity. At a point in Nigeria, the federal capital territory, Abuja, was besieged by insecurity. People were being kidnapped on daily basis. People are being killed all over the country. Farmers are being killed in their numbers. Nigerians cannot even make use of road anymore because kidnappers and bandits, they've taken over road. Look at what happened in Lagos. The Fuani CEO was kidnapped. That is a high-profile man. He was kidnapped in Lagos. There is insecurity everywhere in this country. These are what Nigerians are seeing. Food prices are skyrocketed. Nigerians cannot even afford to buy the basic food items in the market. Rice, 80,000 naira in one bag. How much is minimum wage? Tomatoes is being sold for 4,500 naira for that small tomatoes tin cup. That is incredible. Now look at the price of garri. 4,500 naira for a painter, something that was being sold for 700 naira before President Bola Ahmed Tinubu took over office. And somebody is trying to tell me that he's doing something. What exactly is he doing? Give us statistics. You were all shouting, now statistics will go chop. Now statistics are coming out. Nigerians in their numbers are hungry. They cannot even afford 3 square meals a day. You remove the fuel subsidy and you promise that the money that will be gotten from the fuel subsidy will be invested into the economy. Now we are still paying fuel subsidy, and Nigerians are suffering from the effect of that fuel subsidy. And you're telling me that the president is doing something? Tinubu is doing absolutely nothing. You are talking about student loan. How many persons have benefited from that student loan? This is what you should be telling us, not just giving us verbatim words that student loan. How many persons have benefited from that student loan? All Nigerians are seeing from the president is luxury budget. Now look at the budget of the Nigerian presidency. You have 4 billion for renovation of the residential quarters for the president in Abuja. You have 2.5 billion for renovation of the residential quarters for the VP in Abuja. You have 4 billion for the renovation of the Dodan Barracks, Lagos, official residence of the president, 4 billion naira. You have 3 billion naira for the renovation of the official quarters of the VP in Lagos. The VP also has an official quarters in Lagos, 3 billion naira. You have 4 billion naira for the construction of office complex in the presidential villa. You have 5 billion for the purchase of the presidential yacht. There is 1.5 billion for the purchase of vehicles for the office of the First Lady. There is 2.9 billion for the purchase of SUV for the presidential villa. There is 2.9 billion for the replacement of operational vehicles for the presidency. There were equal report of 21.2 billion naira that was budgeted for the office of the chief of staff of the president. What about the 21 billion naira that was used to renovate the residence of the vice president in Abuja? This is the same person that also have a residence in Lagos. What exactly is he doing with all this? These are the money that have been spent so far, and these are what Nigerians are seeing, not what you're telling me that the president is doing that Nigerians are not seeing. But Tinubu is not ready for governance. All he cares about is to live an extravagant lifestyle. All he cares about is to feed fat from the sufferings of Nigerians. And that is the reason why Nigerians are in anguish. There's a reason why Nigerians are in pain, because the president has so far not rolled out any policies that will help Nigerians. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.